I remember sitting in an old barbershop back in the day, Mount Vernon. You could smell the talcum powder, the cheap aftershave, and the ambition all mixed up in the air. The buzz of the clippers was the soundtrack. And there was this old man, Mr. Charlie, sweeping up hair. He never said much. But one day, a young fella comes in, flashy shoes but a worried look, complaining loud about being broke. Complaining about his boss, the system, the rent, the world. Everything and everyone was the reason his pockets were empty. Mr. Charlie stops sweeping. The whole shop goes quiet, just the hum of the clippers. He leans on his broom, this old wooden broom he'd probably had for 20 years. He looks the young man dead in the eye, and he says in this quiet, raspy voice, a voice that had seen a lot of life, "Son, your pockets ain't empty, your spirit is." Pauses, lets that sink in, looks out at the audience, "Your spirit is." That stuck with me all these years, through all the ups and all the downs. I realized he wasn't talking about religion, not really. He was talking about the space between your ears. He was talking about the architecture of your mind. Because we get it twisted. We think poverty is a number in a bank account. We think wealth is a house on a hill. No, that's the box score at the end of the game. It's not how the game is played. You gotta get this straight. It's the first thing. The wallet is the symptom. The mind is the source. We see someone struggling, and we think the prescription is money. We think if we just give them a check, the problem is solved. No, that's like putting a band-aid on a broken bone. A poor mind is a leaky bucket. You can pour opportunity in, you can pour a lottery winning in, you can pour the best advice in the world into it, and it'll all run right out the bottom. It's a spirit of lack. It believes there's never enough, so it acts accordingly. It spends frantically, it panics, it sees ghosts in every shadow. But a rich mind is fertile ground. It might be dry, it might have nothing growing in it right now. But the soil is good, and it only needs one seed, one idea, one opportunity, one connection, and it knows how to nurture it. It waters it with discipline. It protects it with focus. It gives it sun with a positive outlook. And it grows an entire forest from that one seed. You see, the person with the rich mind can be flat broke. But it's a temporary condition, because the factory is still intact. The source is still pure. The person with the poor mind can win the lottery, and that's a temporary condition too, because they have a leak in their soul. You have to fix the source before you can ever hope to see the symptoms change. You see it everywhere. People tearing each other down online for a scrap of attention. Co-workers hoarding information, hoping someone else will fail. It's the crab in a bucket mentality. The moment one crab starts to climb out, the others pull it back down. Because in their world, there's only one bucket, there's only one pie. It's a spirit of subtraction, leans in, voice drops to a conspiratorial, passionate tone, but the rich mindset, it doesn't even see the pie. It doesn't live in that cramped little room. It walks right past it, opens a door, and steps into a massive, sprawling, infinite kitchen. It sees flour on the counter. It sees sugar in the pantry, eggs in the fridge, spices on the rack. It sees a recipe book a mile long. It understands that you can always bake more pies. When a rich mind sees someone else succeed, sees them walk out with a beautiful, steaming hot pie, it doesn't feel jealousy. It feels curiosity. It doesn't say, "He took my slice." It runs up to him and says, "That looks amazing. What's the recipe? Where'd you get your ingredients? Can you show me the technique you used for the crust?" An abundant mind understands that success isn't a limited resource. It's a blueprint. It leaves clues. It leaves a recipe for anyone else willing to put on an apron and get their hands dirty. You don't get mad at the person with the pie. You learn from them so you can open your own bakery. You create value, you collaborate. You build a bigger table, you don't fight for a bigger chair. A poor mindset consumes. It's a furnace that just burns things for a moment of heat. It consumes time. You know what I'm talking about. The endless scroll, the thumb flicking, flicking, flicking. Watching other people live their lives while yours slips through your fingers like sand. 2 hours gone. Poof, vanished. You didn't get anything for it. You just spent it. It consumes energy. It feeds on complaining. It gets a little jolt from gossip, from anger, from worrying about what he said or she did. It's a sugar high of negativity. It leaves you drained, empty, with nothing to show for it but a bad taste in your mouth. It consumes information as entertainment, as noise. It's just stuff to fill the silence. Pauses, looks around the room, letting the self-recognition settle in a rich mindset invests. It sees every minute, every ounce of energy as a seed. It invests an hour reading a book that teaches a skill. That's not an hour gone. That's an asset you just built in your own mind. It's a tool you just forged. It invests energy in discipline, even when it doesn't feel good. It invests it in that workout, in that difficult conversation, in prayer, in building relationships that matter. I've been on sets for 16 hours straight. You think that's spending energy? No, that's investing energy into a character, into a story, into the craft. The return is the performance you see on screen. When you sit down to work, are you spending 3 hours distracted, phone buzzing, 10 tabs open? Or are you investing 1 hour of pure, locked-in deep focus? See the difference. One is a shallow puddle that evaporates in the sun. The other is a deep well you can draw from for years. One is about depletion. The other is about growth. Stop spending your life. Stop letting it burn away for nothing. Start investing it in the greatest asset you will ever have, you. Poor mindset sees failure as a final judgment. The gavel comes down, bang. I failed the test. Verdict, I'm stupid. My business went under. Verdict, I'm a loser. She said no. Verdict, I'm unlovable. Case closed. It's a stop sign. It's a brick wall you run into, and you just sit there, bleeding, staring at the bricks. It defines you. The failure becomes your identity. And because you're so afraid of that gavel coming down again, you stop going to trial. You stop trying. You stop taking risks. You play it safe, and you shrink your life down to the size of your fear. Leans in, voice lowers, becomes more intimate. The rich mindset. Oh, it feels the sting. Don't get me wrong, it hurts, it's supposed to, but it sees failure as tuition. You just paid for a masterclass in what doesn't work. You just paid a very high price for a very valuable education. That audition I didn't get. The one I thought was mine, that wasn't a verdict on my talent. That was tuition that taught me how to prepare better, how to find a different angle on the character, how to walk in with a different energy. The movie that didn't do well at the box office, that was tuition that taught the whole studio something about what the audience wants. You paid for the lesson, so for God's sake, don't leave the classroom without learning something. You wouldn't pay for a college class and then sleep through the lecture, would you? Failure is the receipt that proves you're in the game. It's the proof that you tried. So what do you do with it? You look at it. You study it. You ask, what did this cost me? And what did it teach me? And then you do the most important thing. You fall forward. Every time you get knocked down, if you can manage to fall forward, you land a step ahead of where you were before you took the hit. You stumble, but you stumble into new territory. You paid the price, get your education. The poor mindset, even if it gets a little money, a little success, a little recognition, it clenches its fist. Tight, you can see it in people. They start looking over their shoulder. They get suspicious. The first thought is, it's mine. I have to protect it. I have to hoard it. The knuckles are white. The muscles are tight. And the fear of losing what they have becomes 1,000 times greater than the joy of having it. It's a prison of possession. Think about it. A clenched fist can't receive anything new. It can't accept a gift. It can't shake another man's hand in partnership. It can't lift anyone up. It can only hold on, squeezing the life out of what it has until it turns to dust. Pauses, lets the image of the fist hang in the air, but the rich mindset, the truly, deeply, spiritually rich mindset, understands the power of the open hand. It understands a fundamental truth of the universe. You are a channel, not a container. You are a river, not a swamp. The blessings, the talent, the wealth, the wisdom, it's meant to flow through you, not to you. It was never yours to keep in the first place. You're just a steward. Your purpose isn't to see how much you can accumulate. Your purpose is to see how much you can circulate. How much good can you pour back into the world that poured into you? How many people can you help? How many lives can you touch? How many opportunities can you create for someone else with the opportunities you were given? That is the ultimate currency, not the dollar, not the euro. Legacy, service, impact. The real measure of your wealth is what you do with your overflow. A clenched fist is a sign of fear. An open hand is a sign of faith. Faith that if you give, more will be provided. Faith that your source is not your bank account, but your creator. Faith that in letting go, you actually gain everything. So I'm asking you, look at your life. Not your bank statement, your life. Where is your mind? Is it a leaky bucket or is it fertile ground? Are you fighting for a slice of the pie, or are you in the kitchen baking a new one? Are you consuming your days, or are you investing them? When you fall, is it the end of the story, or is it the tuition for your comeback? Is your hand clenched tight in fear, or is it open in service? This isn't some motivational talk. This is a challenge. The difference between a rich life and a poor life is a choice. It's not one big choice you make on a Tuesday. It's 100 small choices you make every single day. The choice to learn instead of complain. The choice to create instead of criticize. The choice to lift someone up instead of tearing them down. Mr. Charlie was right. He was right all those years ago in that barber shop. It starts with the spirit. Build a rich spirit, a spirit of abundance, a spirit of service. And I promise you, your life will have to catch up. The rent on your potential is due every single day. Go pay it. Thank you.